Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Oh, my goodness gracious. Good morning, everybody. How about let's wake up and have some fun? Can we do that this morning? Absolutely. All righty. Folks, number one, nobody made you come here today. This is not mandatory. This is fun. So we're going to have fun this hour. Is that pretty cool? All right, so number one, let's all let our hair down if you have some. For the Colonel and I and my good friend from Israel, we have none. But for those of you that have hair, like Sheriff Leonard, let your hair down and relax just a little bit. Everybody decompress, take a deep breath and chill out for a few minutes. I actually say that not for you, but I say that on behalf of our 7 new friends. Because whether you recognize it or not, there's a lot of anxiety in this room. Can you feel it? I can feel it a little bit. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with a little bit of training, and I can read a room fairly decently. And there's a little bit of anxiety in here, Sheriff. Is that fair? But really, it's natural, it's very normal, and it's as to be expected under these set of circumstances. Where else are you going to see 7 amazing individuals with varying intellectual and developmental disabilities sit here in the public meeting room attached to the Chesterfield County Police Department wearing cool-looking uniforms, seated in front of their local heroes, their first responders? Where else were you going to see this? So first of all, let's give them a big round of applause. And if you notice, 2 of them just looked at me like, what's about to happen next? 2 of them very quickly, within a half a second, gave me that infamous look. So I say this for a reason, and I try to be very lighthearted, very intentionally, so please appreciate the moment. This is not the norm for your average Tuesday morning in Chesterfield County. I love this county. By the way, some of you guys don't even know I grew up right here in Chesterfield County. So it's just very fitting for me to be back in Chesterfield County for a second program and have our new friends from Israel, which we will introduce here momentarily. So first I would like to say, has anybody ever been to a family reunion or seen videos of a family reunion whereas they recognize individuals who have traveled the furthest? Okay, so let's see. From a show of hands, who traveled more than 10 minutes to get here this morning? Woo! What about you guys? Right down the road. Robert? How far did you come from, Robert?
Where my dad lives. So
That's a good place to come from. That's cool. Who came from more than 20 minutes away? 30 minutes? All right, how many of y'all flew across the Atlantic Ocean from Israel? Anyone here? Maybe you in the back, sir? From Israel? Ma'am? From Israel? No? How about these gentlemen right here behind me that flew from Israel that are here representing an amazing program called Special in Uniform that mimics our Growth Through Opportunity program. And we're going to get into that shortly. But first, I just want to say thank you so much for traveling across the pond, as we say here in the United States, to join us this morning. So, Taranatia, thank you so much. Yossi Kahana, thank you so much for joining us. So each and every morning at the GTO Cadets program, we start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would all please stand. Okay. If we could turn around and face the flag in the back, gentlemen. Robert, I'll give you just a moment. There you go. And please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good job. Good job, buddy.
Our 7 new GTO cadets, how are you feeling this morning? Good. Feeling good? We're starting to relax a little bit? Yeah? See, I'll stand up here and be silly on your behalf. How about that? Is that okay? I'll stand up here and I'll be your mouthpiece and be silly on your behalf for a few moments. Is that cool with you, Robert? That's good. We got some laughs now. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. So what you're seeing here on the screens, looping through about 100 different slides, is a multitude of images of our Growth Through Opportunity GTO Cadet program. We operate in a multitude of jurisdictions in varying states around the United States. And we chose a few that are really, they're all meaningful and they're all wonderful, but we could not show millions and millions of slides and videos. So we chose some very impactful. Hey, look, there's you guys. Wow, is that cool or what? Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, it is cool.
Is that you, Benjamin? Yeah, that was you. Hey, you're famous. You guys are famous now. Is that pretty cool or what? That's really neat. So as we go through the morning hour, we want you guys to also check out the slideshow that we've put together. It's just going to be scrolling in the background, and hopefully you will think and feel that it is as heartfelt as we intended it to be. So let me give you a brief background. I'm not going to speak for the whole 60 minutes, believe it or not. And Sheriff Leonard doesn't believe it, and he's probably behind me shaking his head right now. But I'm not going to speak the whole 60 minutes, Sheriff, I promise you. But I want to give you a very brief background on the Growth Through Opportunity program. So Growth Through Opportunity was created to be mutually beneficial for a lot of different young adults. Young adults, what does young mean? So young is at least 18 years of age to 108 years old. If you're 109, we can't do anything for you. But if you're 18 to 108, we'll place you in our wonderful Growth Through Opportunity program and do our best to uplift you, empower you, raise your self-esteem, raise your self-worth, raise your confidence, raise your community connectivity, your employability, and your overall quality of life. That's not bad. But in addition to that, we do something that no other organization in the United States of America does. And that is we place really cool uniforms on amazing individuals with different disabilities. Why would we do that? Well, it's simple. I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and it was critically important for me to do my best to also enhance safety for individuals with varying disabilities, as well as enhance safety. I'll get that, sir. If you just hand it to me, I'll take it from here. Seriously, I'll take it from here. So we do it to mutually enhance safety for one another. That way, when we have sometimes crisis situations or real life incidents during future world situations, they run a lot smoother. That way we have a better understanding of one another. Does that make sense? So we spent years, many of us, doing a lot of classroom trainings that taught disabilities awareness trainings and critical autism training for a lot of first responders, not only just here in Virginia, but across the country. And yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Folks like me got to run our mouth for 8 hours straight. And finally I said, enough's enough. Those that want to continue doing that, kudos to them. But we're going to get real. There's no better way for you to understand my family dynamic. There's no better way for you to understand a population of people that are typically misunderstood, misperceived, and not always included in society as I and everyone up here behind me strongly believe that they should be. So what better way than to pair them with their local heroes, with their local first responders wearing uniforms just like these men and women wear. By the way, these uniforms were picked by Sheriff Leonard because they are almost exactly the same BDU-style relaxed uniform that his deputies wear on a regular basis. So you're going to see a lot of deputy sheriffs right here in Chesterfield County, guys, that look and wear almost the exact same uniform as U7. Is that pretty cool? Yeah. So it's very important for us to put through this a hands-on training program, a hands-on experience that is mutually beneficial for everyone involved. And we have a lot of fun with what we do. We've been very successful in our efforts. We've won some national awards, which I'm not going to get into because that would sound like I'm up here bragging, and I'm not going to do that. But you can check it out for yourself. We've been pretty busy the last few years. So what we're going to do, first of all, is I would like to recognize one of our partnering agencies, and that is a critical component to what we do, and that is the Commonwealth of Virginia's Division of Aging and Rehabilitative Services. So folks, if you're here representing DARS, will you please stand and be recognized? Oh, they love to be put on the spot, I know. So you guys, whether you know it or not, DARS is a phenomenal organization that works tirelessly, is that the right word? Tirelessly behind the scenes, advocating for a lot of different individuals with varying disabilities and unique challenges in life. And they are your mouthpiece behind the scenes. I know they work tirelessly. I work with them behind the scenes. They're amazing individuals, and they also help fund our Growth Through Opportunity program. So ladies, thank you so much. On behalf of DARS, I know on the program we have Ms. Sharina Sewell listed. She is out of town currently. So in her place, we have what we call her designee, Ms. Rebecca Farthing.
Good morning. On behalf of the Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services, we are the Division of Rehabilitative Services, and we are counselors serving our Chesterfield office here. And we are very excited to have some of our individuals participating again this year. This is the second time that DRS has worked with GTO and Chesterfield County to provide a program here for growth through opportunity in the county. It was really neat to see going across, there's a screen right here for the cadets, and it was kind of cool to sit there and see the images from last year, especially the graduation. And I had the opportunity to attend the graduation last year, and it was very touching that as a counselor, I know how much my individuals mean to me and how much it means to me to be able to see growth in people and watch them achieve things. And it was fascinating to me to see how much in just that short amount of time the Chesterfield County sheriffs and police and fire and EMS and general services really came to care for these individuals too. And to me that's so important, because if you don't care, it doesn't work as well. And so we are really thankful for that. I am excited for this new opportunity to see these individuals have the opportunity to grow as well. It was very encouraging to see how much self-confidence and how much self-esteem. We were trying to come up with words yesterday as to what we were able to see. It's kind of indescribable, but with the individuals that were served last time. And so I'm very excited that you guys are going to have that same opportunity. We look forward to moving forward and partnering with the county, and we're so grateful for how much they're working and what they're doing and for this program and the way that it can help individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And I want to echo what Travis said earlier. And I know that from the first time he presented the program to us, I was very excited to hear about the fact that this is a great opportunity for a mutually beneficial relationship where individuals can be exposed to emergency services and the same with emergency services. So they can come to see what amazing people we get to work with. We're lucky enough as counselors and support individuals to work with every single day. So I'm excited to move forward, and good luck, guys.
Truth be told, when I walked in their office, they thought I was muy loco. I'm just candid. Just kidding. How many of you guys are aware of what the #1 cause of death is across the world in individuals with autism spectrum disorder? Anyone know? 2 of you know because you're smiling, but you don't want to say it. You don't want to be the first. Mr. Bowles? Drowning. See, we learned something new this morning. The #1 cause of death in all individuals across the earth, across the globe, is death by drowning. So many individuals with autism are highly attracted to water, yet cannot swim. I want that to resonate one more time. Because a lot of the individuals with autism have this invisible disorder, right? Whereas you really can't not tell whether or not they have a disability. But it's the #1 cause of their death across the world is death by drowning. Wow. So I say that for 2 reasons. One, for a quick educational moment. And secondly, because that is exactly why we reached out to my new friend at the YMCA right here in the Richmond area, specifically I believe the Chester branch of the YMCA, to offer aquatics training and swim lessons for every single one of our GTO cadets at no cost. So with that being said, I would like to call up Mr. Jamal Riley, who is the Executive Director of the Chester Family YMCA.
Good morning, everyone. I see what you mean. So yes, the YMCA is actually more than a gym and swim. We are a cause-driven organization. And so when we talk about cause-driven organizations, we understand that only really true impact and community change can happen when there's a partnership. And so I'm so glad that we have an opportunity to partner with all these amazing organizations and also these awesome young adults to partner in this GTO program. And as we look at what we're going to do, you know, we're working together with these organizations. We're going to create impact. We're going to have significant change. But more specifically, what we're going to do, we are offering, again, those free water safety and swim lessons for the cadets. Out of that 16-week experience, they'll have 8 weeks of water safety and swim lessons. But also, in addition, we're going to also offer them our Y-Fit sessions, which are basically orientation to understanding wellness and learning some personal goals. And so we're just really excited to have this opportunity to work together with you all and make a significant impact. We're identifying a need in our community, and together we're going to help solve that. So thank you.
You guys don't be shocked. I got this little rubber ducky, and I've got a rubber cap that I typically wear in the pool so I don't get my hair wet. Don't be shocked when you see this, Kamari. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Is that cool or what? So I would like to take, this is very apropos, to recognize several of our other friends at this moment, and that is Captain Donnie Huff from the Sheriff's Office, Captain K.C. Sailhorse from the Fire Department, Tracy McDormand from the Fire Department, Lieutenant Fortier from the Police Department, because I had nothing to do with this. Truth be told, is I just came into town last night. These wonderful individuals, would you gentlemen agree? Chief, Sheriff? They do all the work. They do all the work behind the scenes. They're incredible human beings. They don't have to do it. Matter of fact, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, if my dementia doesn't kick in the next 10 minutes, Sheriff, after listening to me run my mouth in Norfolk one day, you came back and said, gentlemen, this is what I would like to do. Who would like to take the ball and run with it? So no one made any of these individuals participate, which warms my heart. And sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So why would we have folks from the Jewish National Fund here in attendance this morning in Chesterfield, Virginia? Perhaps my newest best friend, Mr. Yossi Kahana, can enlighten us, because I'm still clueless. Just kidding, of course. So very quickly I've learned that we are kindred spirits. Kindred spirits. So we were put together by Miss Bobby Jasper out of Maryland, who traveled down here last night, Miss Madeline Will, who I'll get into momentarily, who put us all together for a wonderful cause, because unbeknownst to me, from across the pond, so to speak, these gentlemen are and have been for several years doing almost exactly what we do at the Growth Through Opportunity GTO Cadet program. Who knew? Who knew? So these wonderful ladies orchestrated a meeting with all of us in Washington, D.C., where we met and very, very quickly established a wonderful relationship and a collaboration and a partnership. So at this time, I would like to call my new friend, Mr. Yossi Kahana, up.
Good morning, everyone. So a mother going to her son's room in the morning, knock on the door and says, "David, wake up, you need to go to the school." And David goes, "I don't want to go to the school. All the students are at me. All the teachers are at me. I have no reason why to go to the school." And the mother looks at her son and says, "My dear son, I will give you 2 reasons why you need to go to the school. A, you are 49 years old. And B, you are the principal." So sometimes even growing up for parents could be a challenge to raise them and to help them to grow and to go to the community. But as a parent myself for a child on the autism spectrum, I know how much it takes to be parents like this wonderful cadet sitting here, raise you, working very hard that you will be part of the community. And Jewish National Fund is really believed that each and every one of us was born by the image of God. And everyone belongs. And as a society, we can and we must make sure that everyone have a life of dignity, belonging, and purpose. And that's why we, as Jewish National Fund, investing and partner in Israel with Special and Uniform that soon you're going to hear from Lieutenant Colonel Tiran Atiyah, to integrate young men and women like you in the Israeli Defense Forces. And they're doing amazing jobs. And what I hear now, you're doing not less than you fellows in Israel. And this is the opportunity, what we are going to bring to United States and to learn from United States to Israel. We're going to work together to make this world a better society. And I would like to tell you that this did not start here and not in Israel. Many, many, many years ago, Moses, the greatest leaders ever have, one day was called by God, telling him, "Moses, go free my people from Egypt." That time, the Jewish people were slaves by the Egyptians. And Moses tell God, "Me? I cannot do this job. I have a speech impairment. I have a disability. Who is going to listen to me?" And God tell Moses, I know that you have a disability, but I do know that you have power. And your brother, Aaron, will come with you and will help you to speak. And guess what? Moses became the greatest leaders ever by the power God told them. You can do it. And since then, 1,000 years ago, we are continuing the same path. You have the power. You have great abilities. And these wonderful people here just giving you the platform to do what you can do best. And I would like to conclude with a story about this young man that going to the beach and picking up a starfish stranded by the returning tide and sending back to the water. He tried to save them. And a cynical man walks by, turned to the boy and said, "What do you think you're doing? This beach go hundreds of miles long. There's millions of starfish. Your effort are futile, you'll make no difference." And the boy pick up another starfish, threw it back to the water, and say to this man, "To this one, I made all the difference in the world." You are making a difference in the world. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yossi. And just like that, we have new best friends. Isn't it wonderful what you can do when you work together and you don't care who gets the credit, and you just work together for a common cause to change lives. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. At this time, I'd like to recognize Lieutenant Colonel Taran Atiyah. Lieutenant Colonel Atiyah is the executive director of a program in conjunction with the Israeli Defense Forces called Special in Uniform. I would highly encourage you all to Google it, check out their Facebook page, as well as other social media. I think you will be as mesmerized as I have been, because I too, unbeknownst to my new good friend, Lieutenant Colonel Atiyah, have also been stalking him. He doesn't know that. I was going to bring it up at dinner last night, but he told me he had thousands of other people stalking him. So I, too, did not want to jump on the bandwagon. He probably would have got up and left our dinner at Pearlie's in Richmond last night. But unbeknownst to him, I, too, have been stalking the Israeli Defense Forces program, Special in Uniform, long before I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting Mr. Yossi Kahana and Taran Atiyah. So I am more than blown away by having him fly across the Atlantic and join us here today at our GTO Cadets orientation. So please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Taran Atiyah.
I made a long speech, and I'm going to leave it in my pocket because I want to speak from my heart. And usually this is the best way for me to deliver. So I came from a very tiny place in the globe, like New Jersey, somewhere in the Middle East. And I served at the Israeli Army 28 years. And today, I'm a proud father of 403 young adults, soldiers in the Israeli Army. And today I bring you the idea that you probably know what it is because you are doing it. And I want you to ask yourself a question: can someone with special needs save life? And I'm not going to say special need again, I'm going to say different ability. And I will get to that later. I know that I have only 4 hours, 3 hours to talk. 5 hours. Thank you. 5 hours. So today we are starting a long journey, especially in Uniform USA and especially in Uniform Israel, for a joint venture that will go way above everything that we are thinking of. People with special different ability must be wherever they can be. And we must do everything in our power for them to be accepted anywhere. So we are going to be the largest venture here in the US and also in Israel as it is now. And I would like to congratulate and wish you the best of luck of everything, because you are entitled to, because you can. Every moment that you wake up and wear your uniform, think, what am I going to do today? How am I going to change the world? Because we are sitting here in our daily life, and some of us are not thinking about the little details that you are thinking of. And the idea is that everyone belongs. Long time ago, and I'm ashamed that we were that kind of a society, people with special need were sent to inappropriate places, and I'm not going to elaborate. And when I see you on uniform, beautiful uniform, I can say, a beautiful people, I am so proud that we made a huge, tremendous step toward being much better society. And we are going to do so much more. Lately, I was at the chamber of the Prime Minister of the State of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu. And that guy found almost a half an hour between the meeting of the President of Jordan and the President of Saudi Arabia to accept us. And he gave us one sentence that I burned in my brain. And he says as follows: you are initiating a new society in Israel in a way that everyone will be included. Making inclusion or doing some kind of an inclusion, it's not a statement. It's a daily life work. Every moment that we are sitting and doing something, this is the way of God of doing things. Always create, always move forward, and this is what you are doing. Always move forward, ever. So as I said, I am a proud father of 403 young adults. 3 of them are biological of mine. And the question, if someone will ask me the question, can someone with special needs save life? Who is the brave one? No one?
Can someone with special needs save lives?
Wow, I waited for that question. And it is a good one. Because in Israel, autistic kids are sitting in front of maps and analyzing them and taking some notes that the expert says those are the places where are the missiles, the Qassam missiles are located. I don't know if you know Gaza, Israel, we have some kind of a conflict and they are sending once in a while some rockets toward Israel, and people with different ability are saving the life of the Israeli citizens. So today we are standing here today, you are sitting, I am standing, and we are going to make a better society. Israel, USA, a better society for people with special need. And you know, I have 3 hours and 45 minutes left, and I'm going to spare you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Travis, for having us, and I'm not going to say all the names. And I am so proud and so excited to be here. I cannot thank you enough for inviting me. Toda rabba, and thank you. Before I finish, I brought my soldiers urged me or asked me to give you a present from them to you, and it's there. And I'm going to give each one of you this present. People call it dog tag, and I don't like the idea of calling those tags. Those are an Army ID tags that each soldier has its ID number and name, and we hope that this tag will be always one and full. And I'm going to give each one of you this tag. I love your hair because I have a different one. I have another present for you, but unfortunately I have only 6. So I'm going to send the 7th for sure. And you know what we will do? I will give the same beret for 2 of you. And I promise that one that is not having the beret now, I will send him by mail. But anyhow, my soldiers asked me to give it to you. So I'm going to give it to you anyhow. Okay? So this is a beret of the elite brigade in Israel. They're called Golani. And they are doing the most sophisticated and dangerous missions that the Israeli society or the Israeli country needs. So I'm going to give each one of you. Wow. You are coming to help me?
No, I'm coming to take pictures.
So who is not going to have it? You don't know? Okay. You are so generous. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best of luck. And I know that you can. Yes, you can. Thank you. Toda rabba. And thank you all. Toda rabba for all of you.
You still have 3 hours and 20 minutes, by the way.
I'm going to check them out.
I was very fearful a year ago. I was spending some time with a sheriff around Roanoke, and he's standing at the podium, and he slowly started to take off his wristwatch. So what? Oh boy, here we go. But he does still have 3 hours and 20 minutes. Lieutenant Colonel Atia, it is more than a pleasure to have you join us here this morning. You're an amazing individual doing phenomenal work in Israel, and we are so looking forward to a partnership right here in the United States. So thank you so much. So So Lieutenant Colonel Atia also posed the question, can an individual with varying abilities save a life? Well, I tell you, he doesn't know this. My wife knows this. Don't worry, I'm going to have her stand in just a moment. I say that in advance to promote anxiety in her for the next few moments. That way she's anticipating having to stand. On Saturday, I received a phone call from a GTO cadet that came through our first program right here in Chesterfield County. A young man with intellectual disability that, unbeknownst to any of you all, saved his mother's life this past weekend. Saved his mother's life this past weekend. I asked his mother to join us, and she said, I cannot, I will cry the entire hour. This woman was literally choking to death while her son, one of our GTO cadets, was sleeping in his bedroom. She frantically banged on the door, banged on it, and knocked the door down, awoke this wonderful individual. Of course, he was in a full panic, as all of us would be. She immediately did the universal sign that she was choking. He recognized this, she said, within 5 seconds, stood up, immediately went to his training that was provided by the Chesterfield Sheriff's Office. Because, by the way, you guys go through a week of first aid CPR training and will also walk away with your own certification. So, boy, does that tie in beautifully to his question, can an individual with varying abilities save a life? Just this past weekend, one of our GTO cadets saved his mother's life because, and only because, of the first aid CPR training provided right here by the Chesterfield Sheriff's Office in our Growth Through Opportunity program. Wow. Folks, you can't make this up. What we're doing is absolutely saving lives in a multitude of areas. So I promised her I would not force her to come up here and cry, and I told her I may shed a tear on your behalf. I don't know. I'll try not to do so today, but that was an unbelievable story, unbelievable situation, and she said unequivocally she would not be alive today on this Tuesday morning, July the 23rd, if it were not for the training provided by the Sheriff's Office in the Growth Through Opportunity program. That's amazing. That's amazing. At this time, I'm going to call up one of my other best friends, a lady by the name of Miss Madeline Will. Miss Madeline Will, she won't tell you any of this, by the way. Bobby, will she? No. Miss Madeline Will is probably one of the most humble individuals I think I've ever encountered in my life. I've met with this woman a multitude of times, starting in Baltimore, Maryland. And I was called up to Baltimore to give a presentation very similar to the one I did in Norfolk, Sheriff. And I was called up there to meet with a lot of stakeholders and professionals and folks from vocational rehabilitative, disability council, all you name it. And when I was done speaking, this woman walked up to me very casually, yet intentionally, and with her very quiet demeanor, simply stood in front of me and said, "We need to spend some time on Capitol Hill." Is that an invitation, ma'am? I've never met this woman in my life. She listened to me run my mouth for probably too long, but my wife's used to that, for several hours, and she came up to me very intentionally and said, "We need to spend some time together. We need to plan many visits on Capitol Hill to speak to many stakeholders. I love what you're doing. I love your mission. Do you have time?" I've never met this woman. Yet something in my inner core told me, pay attention to this woman. She's never heard this story. pay attention to this woman. There's something extremely special about this lady. Am I right, Bobby? Extremely special. So we talked. A lot of people promise things with not much follow-up. There's a lot of lip service in this world, correct? That's probably still going on in Chesterfield and some of the citizens and folks out here, right? With intentions yet lip service. I have never in my life seen greater follow-up on every single issue than this woman right here, Miss Madeline Will, and I truly mean that, and she knows I honestly mean that. Not only have we had a multitude of meetings on Capitol Hill, not only has she introduced me to all of her connections throughout the United States over the course of the last year and a half, she has paved the way, and because of her, we are right here also with Yossi Kahana with the Jewish National Fund, Lieutenant Colonel Taran Atiyah. And she won't tell you this, but I'm going to tell a little story on you. She'll probably roll her eyes behind me. Right, Bobby? Yeah. She also used to hobnob a little bit with President Ronald Reagan and Miss Nancy Reagan a couple years ago. She's a phenomenal individual. She's a beautiful soul. She's a mother, a proud parent of 3 adult kids to include a young man with Down syndrome. And I just want to say publicly that I cannot thank her enough for everything that she's done for me and this organization in helping change people's lives, whether you know it or not, all across the United States. So please help me welcome Miss Madeline Will.
All too generous comments. Let me begin by saying that I hope you feel the energy, the passion, the emotion in the room today. That's one of the reasons I do the work I do. When I met Travis, when I met the Lieutenant Colonel and Yossi and others of you, it resonates in my heart that and soul that there are fellows, colleagues who are attempting to make a difference with respect to people with disabilities. So today is an incredible celebration of your lives and your ability to go out and pursue personal freedom, economic freedom, social freedom. I hope that you feel proud of what you've been able to accomplish. We feel very proud of you. It's a remarkable day. The previous speakers have been amazing, but it's also a day of historic importance. And I know that you think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is so. In a room, a smallish room with a small number of people, oh yes, this is an historic day. In the past 75 years, there has been a change in attitudes and in the treatment of people with disabilities. Lieutenant Colonel mentioned the fact that so many people were institutionalized. Yes, in 1965 in our country, we had, it was the high watermark in terms of the numbers of people in institutions. There were 175,000. Today, there are 16,000. Approximately half of the states no longer have any public institutions or have fewer than 200 people who with disabilities residing in institutions. We have a guarantee, a national guarantee of education. We have, moreover, 2 generations of students with disabilities who have been educated with students without disabilities. We have amazing pedagogy, classroom instruction, ways of teaching things like reading that are remarkable. We have medical and technological advances that have extended the lives of people with disabilities and given rise to the possibility of a brighter and a more hopeful vision of what the future can hold for you. There is a flaw in this picture, however, this marvelous revolution that has occurred in the past decades. And that flaw is in the area of employment and independent living. There are many, many, many individuals with disabilities who are unemployed, underemployed. And there is still abroad in the land an attitude that people with disabilities cannot work. Special Olympics conducted research a number of years ago across 9 countries asking about basic attitudes towards people with disabilities. And what they found was that there was similarity across the 9 countries, one of which was the United States, in that people were welcoming. They had positive views about people with disabilities, but they didn't think that they could work in the mainstream of society, and they weren't sure that they could live independently. That's where we are in this revolution, and we need to crack through this barrier about the assumption of people not being able to work, which you embody in a day-to-day, real way in terms of breaking down that assumption and proving that individuals with disabilities contribute to their societies and contribute mightily to the economic strength of our society. Research shows that individuals with disabilities can work. The Department of Education conducted studies from 2009 to the present, waves of study that included 12,000 students across our country. And what were the findings? That individuals who had proper employment training and supports were much more likely to be employed, to earn higher wages, to live more independently, etc. One of the additional problems we have in terms of the employment barrier, the employment challenge, is how to conceptualize what we will do and how to make that real. We know what we want to do. Excuse me. We know the outcome. We want employment for people with disabilities. What does it look like? What is the practice that is put in place that makes it a reality? Well, on this stage today, you have 2 amazing models represented by Growth Through Opportunities and your program, Special in Uniform in Israel. They both are well organized, they're rigorous. They teach us that you have to assess people, you have to identify their strengths, their talents, you have to mentor them, you have to do careful job matching. This takes some doing, and we are not yet able to do this on a large scale in our society. We have pockets of excellence like GTO, but we need to take this model, these 2 models, which are similar, we need to take them to a much larger scale. I find it fascinating that these 2 models come from where? A place in society where people give their lives to support other human beings, to protect them or to save them, fascinating to me, that this is where the answer is coming that will allow us to create the second part of the revolution that we need to put in place in our country, which is the adult service system of supports. Congress passed a law recently which calls for moving away from the old models. They simply are not appropriate for the times, for the high expectations that we have for individuals with disabilities, but we need the models. And here on this stage, you have two extraordinary examples of practices that can change an entire nation, ours and others, and help us to embody better the values that make us the people we are. Thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel, I don't know if you have a few bucks, but I think we owe her a couple dollars. I think we owe her a couple dollars. Speak so highly of you. Gotcha. Ms. Will, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining us today. At this time, we're going to turn the program over to the man of the hour here in this county. One of my newest best friends, Sheriff Carl Leonard.
Feel like I owe you money now. All right, I'm going to try to be the man of the minute. I know you've been sitting for a long time, but enjoy it, because one of the things Travis, excuse me, I'm looking at David, he's giving me the signals over here, like get off the stage. I've just been up here for 30 seconds, you're already chasing me off. One of the things that Travis hasn't mentioned is a big part of this program is also daily physical fitness training. So enjoy your time sitting down today, because you're going to be working out here and going to the gym and doing a lot of things. As Travis mentioned, the uniforms you wear are pretty neat. Those are the shirts that our deputies do wear. It's our field uniform. The pants are actually the same pants that the police officers wear in their uniform. It's the least we can do, because we know we can't compete with the fire department, because you're going to go there and get good meals. And all we got is uniforms. Sorry, Chief. We are so honored and privileged and proud to be part of Growth Through Opportunity, especially with our new partners. Thank you very much. I did hear Travis talk about the program 2 years ago in Norfolk. And Travis started this program out of his heart and his passion, because he's also the parent of somebody with special needs. And when I heard him give his presentation, and I heard that passion come through, it really was a no-brainer. It didn't take me any time to decide, this is a great program, we need this in Chesterfield County. And we did come back and say, who wants to help with this? And we had people from the fire, police, sheriff, general services run to the table saying, I want to be part of this program, because everybody knows this is a special program. And the interesting thing is, the growth through opportunity isn't necessarily your growth. The growth is for us too. And from our first Growth Through Opportunity cadet program, I can tell you we all grew. We all grew tremendously. And we have a greater appreciation, understanding, and it really helped us. And you're going to do the same thing. The 7 of you will inspire us, educate us, help us grow as well. So the growth is actually universal, and I can't thank you enough for being part of this. Even you, David. Even you. You give me such a hard time every time. But in closing, Kamari, Benjamin, Richard, Robert, Tavon, David, Samantha, really look forward to the next several months with you. You're going to grow, we're going to grow. It's a great partnership. You're going to get to do a lot of keen things. I saw your eyes light up when you saw the fire. Everybody likes fire. I'm back here watching. There's a picture, you probably saw it, with the fire, the flames, and his eyes are like, oh. Sheriff and police are cool too, and general services. But we got to get lunches. If we get more lunches, we'll get up there. But thank you very much for being part of this, and thank you all for coming today. Do I owe you money? I've got a special coin from our department I'll give each of you. These are 14 karat gold or not. They're worth about $10,000 or not. But again, what we're going to get through this program and you're going to get is priceless, so thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. At this time, we're going to call up the fire chief, Chief Roy Center. Chief Center, why would we have a fire department up here? Why would we have the fire chief up here? Because very early on, folks like myself recognized that his department has the unique ability to help enhance independent living skills in all of us, to include myself. I've learned quite a few things at one of his fire stations, but also for our GTO cadets. So, Chief Center, thank you, sir.
Well, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the men and women of Chesterfield Fire and EMS, I'm proud to yet again participate with our public safety brothers and sisters in the GTO program. And I'd like to welcome each of our new cadets to the program. And we look forward to working with you in the coming weeks. As Sheriff Leonard mentioned, firefighting and members of the fire service are in a very unique community, if you will. The typical firefighter is going to spend more time with their fire service family over the course of their career than perhaps their own family. They work, they eat, they sleep at the fire station. They have to come together with teamwork throughout the day, and certainly when tragedy strikes, they have to come together as a very cohesive team to address the situation. But I know that each and every one of you will enjoy the time that you get to spend with our firefighters in what I consider the best job in the world. And so again, we welcome you to our department, we welcome you to the program, and we wish you the best in the coming weeks. Thank you.
Everybody loves a fireman. I know, everybody loves a fireman. You've never heard that before, have you, Chief? I know Sheriff Leonard concurs with me. We should have been firefighters in our day, right?
Perhaps, and I have said that. If we could go back and do it all over again, we would.
At this time, I'd like to call the Chief of Police here in Chesterfield County, Colonel Katz.
Good morning. Good morning. Want to welcome each of you, the 7 of you, to the GTO program in Chesterfield County, and I want to apologize right off the bat for placing you in the middle of one of the great rivalries of government. What you'll find is that in Chesterfield County we have a very strong public safety rivalry, very strong partnership. And the department that keeps us all going is general services. They're the ones that keep us in our buildings, that keep everything maintained so that we can produce and fulfill our missions. But what you'll find is that, well, at the last GTO graduation, we had a recruit proudly claim that the fire department was his favorite department. I've seen already one cadet this morning give Sheriff Leonard a hug. So I understand that the police department is starting off behind the curve, and we have some road to make up, but we will. One of the nice things about being one of the last speakers is that everything relevant that needs to be said has already been said. So I'm going to cut my comments short, but I do want to thank each of you in advance for your commitment and your dedication, not just to your community, but to yourselves and to your families. And together we will grow. Together we will work together in partnership to become better versions of ourselves. And I appreciate so much your commitment and your time. Time is the greatest gift you can give any person. And the fact that you're dedicating your time to us is a testament to each of you, and I'm grateful for each of you. And would like to present each of you also with a challenge coin from the police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Katz. We're almost done with the presentation, guys, so don't worry. We're on the last leg, as we say. So we'll be done momentarily. So we have another very unique partner in everything that we do with the GTO Cadet program that also includes general services, which I agree, I've seen firsthand, is the backbone for everything that's done right here in Chesterfield County. And we are blessed with their director here today, Mr. Clay Bowles.
Good morning. To add to what Chief Katz said, the benefit of being the last speaker is that I can 100% guarantee you that this will be the shortest speech of the day. So on behalf of the entire Department of General Services, and in particular our Fleet and Buildings and Grounds Division, it's my distinct pleasure to be here this morning to welcome the newest GTO cadets to the county. Our staff is eagerly anticipating working with you. We look forward to a great adventure. Travis, thank you for the opportunity to participate. Over the next several months, you're going to have a lot of great experiences working alongside several county departments. In general services, you'll be working with our vehicle parts teams, our painting crew, and helping to maintain grounds at county facilities. We'll be with you on each step of the journey and look forward to being a part of your accomplishments. Best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you again during the next 16 weeks and at graduation. Thank you.
Paige and Tristan, if you'll stand. So my better half, Ms. Paige Akins, and my son Tristan are joining us today from Roanoke. I just want to say how proud of them I am. They're the backbone. For what I do. Thank you. So we're closing today, and we're going to highlight the best part, these wonderful 7 individuals. You ready? When I call your name, if you will please stand. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Number 1, I'd like to introduce Ms. Kamari Cobb. You can have a seat if you prefer, or you can stand if you prefer. Stand, please. Second, I'd like to introduce you to another GTO cadet, Mr. Benjamin Cunningham. Thirdly, I'd like to introduce GTO cadet Richard Dabney. See Mom inching up. I will help him as well. GTO Cadet Robert Hopkins. Robert also has a service dog, okay? A beautiful black lab named Dante. Am I right? Whew. And from time to time, you very well may see his beautiful black lab, Dante, accompanying him as his service dog. So Dante's not here today, but we would also recognize K9 Dante. GTO Cadet Devon Macklin. GTO Cadet David Witt. And only because we go in alphabetical order. Our last GTO cadet to announce is Miss Samantha Shaber. So without further ado, I introduce to you your second round of GTO cadets in Chesterfield County. Thank you. Thank you all for your time this morning. We got a lot of work to do. This is just the opening ceremony, if you will, the opening orientation. You are free to go about your day. We ask that you keep all of us in your thoughts and prayers as we continue to do what we call a little bit of God's work. Have a great day.